Hello and good day everyone. From comment below and let me know. I am Francois T and I'm so happy to be here tonight for our first social issues chat in 2 whole weeks. Can you believe it has been this long? Today's topic is arch enemies, and I'm also going to include bullies in this situation. Have you had any in the past? What have you done to deal with that situation? Before we go any further, I'd like to add a disclaimer here. Let's not name any names. If you do feel the need to add a name, let's make it a fictional one. We do not want to be publicly outing anyone, but of course we will talk about the scenarios and situations themselves. If you are in the room, say hi, and I will definitely be giving you a shout out. But I think one of the greatest things about this social issues chat today is not only is it going to give us a chance to talk about things that we've been through with arch enemies and bullies, but ways that we've dealt with them that might be able to help others in the future. Who knows? What fits one person doesn't necessarily fit another, but then again, what may not have worked for one person may certainly work for another, and vice versa. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. So once again, if you're in the room, say hi, and I will totally give you a shout out. And let's get into this week's social issues chats, arch enemies and bullies. Let's go over to the room. And we have a few people in the room at the moment, which is so lovely. Shout out to President A, to Angels, hello. To Sarah, hi Sarah. Sarah says, I missed that part about saying names. Yeah, we're not saying, when we're talking about who our arch enemies are or our bullies have been, we're not going to mention actual names. If you wish to state a name, then please state a name that is not the actual name. We're going to try and protect the identity of the actual person, just for legal reasons. But anyway, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to this topic. So hello to everyone who is in the room. And if you would like to get us started, feel free to start talking about it. For me, I've had a few bullies in the years. To say that I hadn't would have been a complete and utter lie. I have bullies starting from primary school, and I have bullies in high school. I have bullies in the workplace. I mean, they're there. And I think one of the toughest things when it comes to bullies, and this is just a general statement, is it's just as bad to have a bully as it is for others to see the bullying taking place and not doing anything about it. So I'm hoping that by the end of this chat, we can also try and work out some ways to deal with the situation, whether it's happening to us or someone else. It's a very confusing situation. It's tough to deal with. But hopefully we can. Chase is here. Hey, little bro, thank you so much for being here. Angel says, are you kicking it off with your personal experiences, Francois? Oh, I might do that. Would you like me to start off with some of mine? I would be happy to do that. And Angel's saying hello to Chase, and Chase is saying hello back. If you guys would like me to start off with mine, I can certainly do that. Let's see, shall we? Well, my personal experiences with arch enemies, I guess what I would say started back in primary school. I didn't really fit in to any of the groups. I actually ended up going to 2 separate primary schools, or as those in America would say, elementary school. And I didn't really fit into either of those groups. I think part of the reason was that I was quite introverted, and when it comes to bullies and of course the number one arch enemy, it's little things that can really define where you stand in a person's eyes. And I think myself being introverted was definitely a big part of that, but I'll get back to that in a minute because some other people are explaining their experiences, so we'll get on to those first. President A says, hello, I've had a couple of enemies in the past when I was younger, 2 guys who mistreated women. I did what I had to, nothing illegal, to protect the females who were my friends, which they were hassling. I think it's great that you stood up to them. One of the tough things, of course, is that by doing that, that person becomes an arch enemy of your own. But I love the fact that that didn't stop you from standing up to that person. Certainly, it's tough watching it happen to our friends, for sure. especially when they are being mistreated. So I'm glad that you did what you need to do to protect them and stand up for them. I think that's a really good thing that you did there. Angel says, you know, there were a few jealous girls in secondary school who were a bit bitchy to me, but aside from that, I've been very lucky and always was in the sociable group at college, etc. Well, I think, yeah, that is something that is very lucky and very fortunate for you, Angels, that you were in those sociable groups, because not everyone has that opportunity. But yeah, I mean, everyone's affected by bullying in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, a little bit lucky there, which is really good, Angels. Tori is here. Hey, Tori, thank you so much for being here. Angel says, so wasn't really ever picked on and never had enemies as such, but then I've always been an extrovert too, so that helped, I think. I definitely would have to agree with that. Being on the opposite end of the spectrum, being quite introverted, I did attract a lot of bullies, so I think being extroverted does help the situation. But I mean, at the end of the day, you never really know. It could be anything. And I mean, in this day and age, the world is so different, what with modern day technology. I mean, it's not just about physical abuse or verbal abuse in the school ground, but also, you know, when you look at things like cyberbullying, which is also very tough to deal with. Chase says, Big Bro, I messaged you. You did? I'll definitely have to get back to you on that message there, little bro. I'm so sorry. I'll get back to you after this chat on that one. Sarah says, I was also an introvert as a kid, to the point where I would swallow back tears when I had to talk to people. Yeah, I mean, again, I can understand where you're coming from there. And I'm sure that that may have created some enemies or some bullies for you as well. It's a tough situation being introverted because it is different to the norm. I mean, I guess obviously it depends on number of factors, including the environment that you're in, and like the environment of if we're going to talk about school for a moment, the environment of the school itself. I've had the fortune of being around different people who have gone to different types of schools, whether they be in different states, different suburbs, or even the difference between public and private. And it's interesting, all of them have alluded to some sort of bullying or other that's going on at the school, but they've all been completely different in the way that they were handled. Angel says, online abuse has skyrocketed in recent times, often reports of kids being driven to suicide by online bullying. It is, it's really, really sad. And, you know, I think for myself and people who are around my age, we were very lucky that we didn't have to deal with that. It's so much tougher dealing with cyberbullying from reports that I'm seeing and things that children are going through. Yeah, I mean, I even know people nowadays who are getting bullied in schools, and a lot of it has to do with cyberbullying or to do with some sort of modern day technology, and it just really is rather terrible. President A says, my first arch enemy was actually my German teacher in primary school who thought physical punishment was okay, got her fired, and she got deported. I'm glad to hear that. Obviously, physical punishment was a thing back in the day, and it was rather acceptable back in the day, but nowadays it's definitely not. It is looked upon as a form of abuse and violence, so it's definitely not acceptable in under any circumstances. There are disciplinary things that are put into place, and those actions need to be followed. Violence is definitely not one of them. So I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm glad that your German teacher got punished and that she got deported eventually over it. I think that's a very justifiable punishment considering. Chase says, bullies bully people because they've got no life. Yeah, look, I would completely agree with that as well. They don't really have anything else going on, so, you know, it makes things interesting for them. Nice to see that we've got some hugs going around. It's good that I'm seeing all the support that's going around in the room at the moment, because obviously these are very deep issues that everyone's been dealing with. Sarah says, I did deal with bullies at school due to being quiet and not looking like the popular kids, being different in general. Yeah, definitely. As I said, you know, different people will pick up on different things when they start bullying. Not looking like the popular kids is definitely one of them. Physical appearance, no matter how you look. For example, when I was in high school, I was rather skinny, where a lot of the guys were bulked up, and you could tell that they worked out or whatever. Also, I was rather pale compared to a lot of the other guys who had a slight tan. That's a thing here in Australia, that the guys were quite tan. They spend a lot of time at the beach in the sun and all that. So yeah, physical appearance certainly does make a difference. Unfortunately, I mean, at the end of the day, you would think that the smart people would be smart enough to realize that differences are what make this world so fantastic and so special, and not to mistreat people because of their differences, but to embrace them. It's unfortunate how all these issues are dealt with, and it's almost unacceptable. Sometimes it does happen in the home. I have heard of cases, for example, when it comes to bullying of people from LGBTIQ communities. It's not surprising to hear that the parents may have an opposing view to that community and then pass it on to their child. This really breaks my heart when I find out about this, because I feel like whilst the child did something very wrong, it was because that's how they were raised that they did this in the first place. So that makes me even more angry. Sorry guys, your comments are flying by, which is really cool. Chase says, no cries, or I tickle Angels. Oh, cute. Angel says, I also do think that kids as they grow up can be so mean. Very much true. Definitely. Sarah says, the worst bullying, though, and my arch enemy was my stepmother, and I do speak about it at times where it was long-term emotional abuse and sometimes physical. It destroyed my self-esteem. I'm so sorry to hear that. It's very difficult, especially when you're a child and your parents get divorced and there's another figure that comes along into the picture. I can speak from personal experience. I think, I was lucky because over time things became very different, and I am much, much, much closer with my stepmother now than I was at the time. But it's a very difficult situation. But what makes it worse is if the new person that comes into your life goes out their way to make things difficult. And it sounds like that's what was happening for you. Long-term emotional and sometimes physical abuse. I'm so sorry that that happened to you. It's the worst thing that can happen. I mean, you would think logically that the new person stepping into your life would be doing what they can to sort of embrace you for the sake of the person that they're trying to be with. So logically, I don't quite understand why these people do what they do, but I know that it does happen, and so I'm really sorry that you've gone through that. The stuff at school was just like the icing on the cake. Yeah, I think the stuff at school for me was a little bit bigger than the icing on the cake, but definitely it adds to everything else that is going on. I would agree with that much. And just as I think as people get older, they tend to get less judgmental about physical appearance, but growing up, kids of school age are often so judgmental about appearance. Yeah, I mean, they are, and it's ridiculous at the end of the day. Like, who cares how everyone looks? I mean, can't we all just get along? I mean, no, this is not a beauty pageant. No, I'm not, standing here saying, I just want world peace. But I mean, seriously, like, I just never understood logically why people had such a big problem with people being different and doing things differently. But that was just me. Unfortunately, I made the mistake a couple of times in high school trying to question these people on why it was such a big deal, and I realized you don't make that mistake ever again because everything just intensified for me. So I would say for me, my biggest arch enemies would probably come from high school students, with having one problem or another. Yes, as I said, I did go through some bullying in elementary school, but the bullying in elementary school was much more verbal. I'm not saying that it's easy to handle verbal abuse, because it is not. And depending upon the harshness of the situation, sometimes it is rather terrifying and, to say the least, very uncomfortable to deal with. But when I went to high school, the abuse went from verbal to verbal and physical. And I would sometimes go to high school fearing for my life. And so that's where it gets really, really tough. But again, like I question it logically then, I still do now at 31 years of age, saying, you know, like, what the heck? Like, why was it such a big deal that I was different to you? Why? What made you think at that age that you could do what you did? So yeah, definitely still don't understand that to this day, what goes through their minds. But yeah, it's a really sad situation. Where am I up to? People are offering up hugs, which is really beautiful. Yes, a good point, Angels. Chase, where is your partner in crime? Where's Alias? I'm kind of surprised that Alias is not here. You're here a bit early, Chase, which is really cool. But I don't know where Alias is. Haven't heard anything from him yet today. Sarah says that it's all good. This is why I strive to be as kind as possible nowadays. Yeah, I definitely think that when you go through things like this, what it teaches you, and it's such a bad way to learn the lesson, but it does teach you to be kind to everyone. And I think it's great to hear that, Sarah, that you are as kind as possible nowadays. I think it's wonderful. President A says, in high school I was bullied both online and in person, but I was thick-skinned back so I could take it and was able to stand up for the people who couldn't. And I think that's wonderful that you did. I honestly felt like I was thick-skinned when it came to the verbal abuse, because it was just something that I could walk away from and just try and focus on other things. Especially when it's happening outside of the classroom. When it's happening inside of the classroom, and especially, this makes it worse, when nothing is being done about it and it's happening in a classroom and you can't escape, that's terrible. But what sort of pushed me over the edge and took me from being annoyed with it or just finding it something that I could brush off was when everything started becoming physical, and that's when I started fearing for my life. So I think that's such a tough thing as well to deal with, especially when you're in school. You're there to learn, at least that's what they say. You're there to get an education and to learn. And when you are being bullied, the last thing that you're able to do is be 100% focused on what you're trying to achieve. So yeah. But I'm glad that you were able to stick up for people, President A. It's nice people like you who make a difference in this world. You're what we call unsung heroes. So thank you very much for doing that. I agree, Angels. I'm loving all the hugs as well. It's beautiful. Sarah says, my high school bullying was more just isolating me and verbal, not physical. But in conjunction with the home bullying, it was a lot. I'm so sorry you experienced that, Francois. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, look, and I'm not diminishing what you went through at all. Gosh only knows that I've been through my fair share of very harsh verbal abuse, and it is terrible to go through. I'm just saying they are two different types of bullying that you can go through. But yeah, I mean, even to be isolated is terrible. I was lucky in high school. I had a friend, and like I literally had a friend in high school, but I was lucky I had the one and that I wasn't completely alone. But I tell you what, on days when my friend was sick or didn't show up to school, they were the worst, because the isolation really starts to settle in, which is really uncomfortable. Angel says, I was lucky in school with physical appearance, I think, because I guess I looked kind of mainstream, plus quite extroverted. So that meant I was less likely to get picked on, but I had friends who were. I'm so sorry to hear that you had friends who were, Angel. That's really sad. But Angel says, although I always stood up for them whenever I saw it. And I'm glad to hear that. That's what good friends do. They'll stand up for their friends. Sarah says, oh, definitely a bad way to have to learn, but it has shaped me as a person, and same with you, I'm sure, Francois. Yeah, absolutely, it has shaped me as well, Sarah. I'm trying to become more extroverted than I was, and it's very tough to do, when you, especially when you go through situations like we all have. But yeah, I would definitely say it has shaped me as a person, for sure. Sarah says, I'm glad you stood up for the Angels. Yeah, me too. Again, another unsung hero that we have here, which is really beautiful. Angel says, I've never been afraid to tell bullies to piss off. I think that's wonderful. Again, like I referred to what I was saying earlier, there's those who are doing it and there are those who are standing by and letting it happen. And that was one of the things that I always found when I was being bullied by my arch enemy or enemies, depending on the time, was when I would look around at innocent bystanders who would just stand there and not do anything. And all I could think was, why are you not trying to help me? And to see it continuing to this day, I mean, I wish we could just completely eradicate bullying, honestly. But to see it continuing to this day is just terrible. And with the advances that modern day technology is making, which on one hand is a really good thing, on the other hand just makes it so much easier for bullies, especially to continue things outside of school, at home. The show we no longer mention is a great example of that. Despite the fact that it is a TV show, what AD, Uber A, all that did to these girls, without modern day technology, you'd think it would be very different. Now, again, it is a TV show and it may be exaggerating the point. I don't know. People may actually be going through this. But it makes a valid point as to how much easier life has become for bullies now with the advances of modern day technology, which really scares me as to what's going to happen as we evolve as a race over time with modern day technology being updated all the time. Angel says, actually, if anything, my sharp tongue has almost gotten me into trouble a lot. Yeah, I think that's one of the tough things to deal with too. I know of some people who have stood up for others and in the process gotten in trouble for it. And that's one thing I've always questioned, saying that they're actually doing the right thing. Why are they getting in trouble for it? I don't quite understand. But Chase says, I told a teacher off when they told a kid to go to hell. Oh my God. Oh, they are going to hell. Oh my God. Oh my God, as in, oh my God, the teacher, go you for actually doing that, Chase. Good on you for standing up to them. Sarah says, oh, it's easier for me to stand up to bullies now that I've developed some self-esteem and a voice. As a kid, I wouldn't have spoken up, though, lol, too quiet. Yeah, completely agree, Sarah. Especially nowadays, if I see situations like I went through, especially with children, I'm very quick to raise my voice and step in. And it's probably not the best thing to do, but definitely it's much easier now, I would agree. Angel says, Francois, I think comment below and let me know is great. Thank you. Angels, I appreciate that. Our little community and your channel is a good way of encouraging confidence and conversation and will help to become more extroverted. I completely agree. And that's why I love our social issues chats. I mean, yes, this one is about bullying and I think it's very relevant and always will be, but that's what I'm hoping to have happen with our social issues chats, is for everyone to be able to say whatever it is that's on their mind about this topic, and we can all sort of talk about it and work through it and hopefully take something away from it. So thank you, Angels. I really appreciate that. President A says, Francois, should I mention the arch enemy I messaged you about earlier? Yeah, I don't see why not, President A. I think you can do that. I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes to what we are saying, we all have freedom of speech. So if you'd like to, you certainly may. It's totally up to you. I'll leave that to you, but you do have freedom of speech to say it if you'd like. Angel says, 13 Reasons Why is also a good show to highlight the potential devastating events of everyday bullying. Yes, Angels, completely agree. I'm hoping to have a 13 Reasons Why chat next week. Hoping to, crossing fingers. So yeah, it'll be really good to get into that stuff as well. And certainly one of the things that 13 Reasons Why has shown is what bullying can lead to. So yeah, absolutely. We will have to get into that discussion. Sarah says, President, share whatever you're comfortable with. Yeah, exactly. So if you are comfortable with it, then talk about it. But don't feel like you need to be restricted in this chat either, because you do have freedom of speech to say what it is that you would like. But it is completely up to you. Chase says, I want to put all bullies in Radley. Oh, me too, Chase. Believe me, that would just be justice and a half. So I have to tell you guys something, and I don't know if I've actually told you this or not, but I went to high school with this kid, and let's be completely honest, actually, I went to primary school with him too. As I said, my primary / US American elementary school, he was a year above me. And he was always verbally teasing me, verbally harassing me. And then unfortunately, because he was a year above me, once he left the elementary school, my schooling got a little bit better. Then I went on to high school just to find out he was there. And he made life much worse for me. A lot of verbal and physical abuse that I went through in high school. Anyway, I want to get to this point. So this was my #1 arch enemy. And honestly, I will never forget this person for as long as I live. About 6 months to 6 to 8 months or so ago, I randomly thought of this person. I don't know why, but I just randomly thought of them. And I went on Facebook and tried to look them up. And something very interesting happened. I came across a page for this person, and before their first and surname were the initials RIP. I was quite intrigued, so I kept looking onto the page and trying to see what was going on, and I kept seeing all of these statuses that were being placed onto this person's Facebook page saying that they're such a lovely person, and that they're going to be missed. And of course, my first reaction was lovely person. Obviously, you knew a better side to them than I did. But then I actually went on to find out that this person ended up being in a car accident. He was driving somewhere, I don't know where, but anyway, he was on his own. He ended up in a car accident, and it was a hit and run. The driver hit him. So I don't know if he was driving or if he was walking, but he was in a car accident. The driver hit him and kept going. And he was left there, and because no one even thought to contact him or anything like that, because no one knew what was going on, by the time someone discovered him and ambulance officers were called to the scene, he had actually died. And it was a very interesting experience for me to go through, because part of me felt so terrible for him. But another part of me was thinking, oh my gosh, after all this time, I mean, even though I've been out of high school for many, many, many years, I felt this sense of almost freedom, if that makes any sense at all. So I just wanted to share that with you. I don't know if there's a right or a wrong way to feel about this, but yeah, everything happens for a reason, and I guess I just thought about them for a reason, and I need to see this RIP page, and I'm glad that I came across it. So there you go. Angel says, yeah, Chase, I'm forcing them to listen to Alex Drake on a loop. I like that. I think that's a good one. Chase says, I find it funny. Schools show the movie Cyberbully, but not 13 Reasons Why. I don't think I've seen Cyberbully. But yeah, schools should definitely be showing 13 Reasons Why. President A says, Angels, I like that. There you go. Angel's giving a thumbs up. Sarah says, but I try to be respectful when I speak up. Well, depending on the situation, I want to model good behavior as much as possible. Yes, and I think that's a good idea, and it's a good it's a good thing to project onto the world and onto society. Yeah, and hopefully other people pick up on it and reflect that. Angel says, people forget that bullying is cumulative, so just one nasty comment someone makes could potentially be the straw that breaks the camel's back and drive somebody to depression or worse. Couldn't have put it better myself, Angels. Absolutely right. President A says, I'll just say my arch enemy I spoke to Francois about involves a former Prime Minister here in Australia and a mishap throw in a water balloon fight. Yeah, absolutely. So that's pretty big, considering it's a former Prime Minister. Yeah, and a water balloon fight. Very interesting. And it was an interesting discussion that I had with President A earlier today. I was very grateful to have that discussion with you. Sarah says, Angels, that is so true, and I sometimes wonder if these people actually ever think about their behavior and how it affects people. Yeah, I don't think they do. But I mean, they might. I don't have any evidence to show that they do. Angel says to Sarah, exactly. They need to realize that these types of insults, however small, can have terrible knock-on effects. Yes, exactly. Sarah says, I'd like to say, though, that I've managed to forgive my bully. Even though sometimes I still heard about it, I genuinely wish her best and had to accept the apology I never received. I like the way you phrase that. Accepting an apology that you never received. That's a good one. I should write that down. I really like that, Sarah. You know, just, yeah, I'm sorry. I just needed a moment there because that is actually really a really good idea and very well written. I like that. I think I might do that with some of the other bullies that I've dealt with that I've never really fully moved on from. I think that's a very mature way to look at it. Well done, Sarah. Chase says, yep, thank you, Chase. I appreciate that. I will look at it after the chat. Sarah says, wow, that would have been a difficult thing to come across, Francois. The emotions involved with finding out one of your bullies has passed. Yeah, it was. It was very difficult. I didn't know how to react. And as I said, like, part of me felt really bad for him, which shocked me. But then the other part of me felt free, and then a moment later thought, oh my gosh, should I be feeling this way? Like, am I allowed to feel free in this moment? Or is that just like really bad form? So yeah, it's always just been something, I don't know, that stayed with me all these months ever since I found out. So yeah, I still don't know the right way to sort of process it, but yeah. Sarah says, I watched that cyberbullying movie. It was pretty bad. Okay, well, I'm going to have to get on and look at that myself. No, I'm glad you took something from what I said. No, absolutely. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it. I think it's a very good way to look at it, accepting the apology you never received. I think it's a very good way to look at it for sure. Does anyone else have any other arch enemy / bully stories that they would like to talk about? Anyone living in Australian Eastern Standard Time, I'd like to welcome you to Saturday. We've just struck over to midnight over here, which is when a lot of other people start waking up in the States and start coming over to our chats. So if there's anything else you'd like to talk about when it comes to cyberbullying, bullying in general, verbal or physical or even emotional, or arch enemies, please let me know. Angel says, slightly off topic, Francois, did you see 50 Years of Pride yesterday? No. It was a documentary. It was really good. I got quite emotional, but was also wonderful to see how far we have come with LGBTQI rights. No, Angels, I have not seen that. I'm so sorry that I haven't, but I will definitely write it down. 50 Years of Pride. I like when you guys recommend things to me and I write them down, go away and watch them. Thank you, Angels. I appreciate it. Chase says, RIP can mean red, indigo, pink. Oh, well, I think that would be a much better way to look at a little bro for sure. Thanks for the laugh there. Sarah says, oh, another bully I forgot to mention actually happened early this year. Wow. A friend came to stay with me, decided to say horrible things about the chronic illness I deal with. That was tough. I'm so sorry that that happened. It's tough enough to deal with chronic illnesses and different things that we may be going through in our lives, and to have especially like friends say things about it, that's got to be very tough as well, especially with it being a friend. I'm so sorry that that happened to you. Did you? I don't know how much I can ask about your situation, but were you able to find a way to deal with that situation? Are you still friends with that person? You don't have to answer that. I was just wondering personally. Angel says, a good friend of mine was bullied in the workplace so badly that she ended up on antidepressants and quit her job. She's still upset about it, and it was years ago. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I do know of people who have wound up on antidepressants because of bullying and harassment, and it's terrible, especially in the workplace where you feel like it should be the most professional environment and everyone should just be focused on their job that they're doing, and especially considering that, generally speaking, when you're in a workplace, you're working with mature aged people, so you would think that they would think, I'm sorry for lack of a better word, like you would think they would think about things. So I'm so sorry that happened. Sarah says, managed to turn a bunch of people against me, my mother, making terrible jokes at my expense and also accusing me of lying about the chronic fatigue syndrome. Still getting over that one. I'm so sorry to hear that, Sarah. I know of people who have either illnesses or things that they go through that some people think that they're not telling the truth. So I know of one person who suffers from something called complex regional pain syndrome, CRPS, and CRPS is something that's very tough to diagnose, and it has a lot of stigma that's come along with it. So some people feel that those who claim they have CRPS are actually lying. This person is actually really close to me. So I was very offended when I found out things that people were saying behind their back. But I've had the same thing with other people as well, and depression as well. Depression gets a really bad name. There are people out there who think that people who say that they're depressed are lying, and that really crushes me, because there's a risk when you say bad things to people who have depression, because people who have depression can certainly get to a stage where they feel like they have nothing to live for anymore. So it's very dangerous doing that. But yeah, I'm so sorry that happened. That should never have happened to you. Angel says, nobody believed her either as your friend that got bullied at work. Nobody believed her either as the woman who was picking on her put on a sickly sweet facade in front of everyone else. Don't you hate when they do that? So ridiculous. You guys know I was talking to you about the biggest bully in my life, my ex, and how I said whenever people would come over, he would act so normal around people and nice and charming that no one would know what was going on. I hate that. I so hate that. And I don't use the word hate often. President A says, still Friday in Adelaide for another 30 minutes only. Time I've initially bullied someone. Oh, sorry. Only time I've intentionally bullied someone is to celebrities when it needs to be said, i.e. Paris Hilton a few years back. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Chase says, roses are red, violets are blue. We all love friends. Oh, thank you. Thanks, little bro. I really appreciate that. That's so sweet. So I don't think anyone's ever written anything like that to me before, so that's really touching. Thank you. I'm sort of blushing over here. Angel says, you'd think once people are of working age that they would have got over their high school bitchiness. Yeah, exactly, Angels. Like, I mean, come on. Mature age people, like, yeah, it's one of the things that I found to be a blessing and a curse at the same time is how I can go from being emotional to being logical. And when I go to my logical side, I overanalyze quite a few things. And this is definitely one of them, thinking, oh my gosh, you're mature age people, like how are you still doing this, you know, rather than going, oh my God, this is so sad. It's like, it just doesn't make sense to me why this is happening. Oh, that sounded a bit emotional though. All right, let's continue. Sarah says, not friends at all. I took her into my home, was kind as possible. It was a massive battle as to how to deal with it, and I just had to admit I could not have anything to do with her. Yeah, good on you, Sarah. I really appreciate that. It's not easy to let go of friends in our lives, but we certainly don't need people who aren't supporting us and who are also going out of our way to make our lives miserable, as clearly your friend was doing. I've had to certainly do that myself. So I know that must have been a tough decision for you, but I'm glad for you that you made that very big step. Asked her to leave and blocked all contact. Good on you. Especially after, you, as you say, you took her into your home. That's terrible. So it says, my best friend has CRPS and the poor thing has a lot of people not believe him as well. There you go. You know someone with CRPS. I only know the person I know. I don't know anyone else who has it. There you go. Yeah, it's really sad. So there's a lot of things that you can read up about with CRPS. One of the biggest things is that it's nerve related. So yeah, like people, I don't know, but there's a stigma about it that people think that those who claim they have it are just lying, because it's sometimes known as the invisible syndrome. Yeah, it's the invisible syndrome. Yeah, I feel so sorry for your friend. Please tell your friend that I support him 100%, because I definitely understand after the person that I know that goes through it. Angel says, I cannot stand two-faced people. Yeah, completely agree. It's absolutely terrible. Like, I mean, if anything, it's, first of all, it's a lack of honesty. Like, in one case, to be so mean and then just turn around a second later and smile at everyone else. It's almost quite evil. Like, I don't really want to say the word evil when we're talking about bullying, but it is. It's rather, would vindictive be the right word? Probably not, but it's rather evil. Rather malevolent. Okay. Sarah says, Angels isn't crazy. Isn't it crazy when these people can fool absolutely everyone else with their false facade, but we see the bad side? Yeah, I mean, I know you're asking Angels, but I'll agree. It is. It's absolutely crazy. Sarah says, we do love you, Francois. Oh, I love you back, Sarah. Thank you. That's so nice. Angel says, oh, President A, fun fact, I had a drink and a ciggy with Paris Hilton a while ago as she's friends with some people I know. Weirdly, it was at a funeral too. Oh, well, there you go. Very interesting. President A says, if you're wondering, I told Paris Hilton to grow up and stop being a spoiled bee. Not saying Paris Hilton is a bad person, just how she was acting on the day I saw her. There you go. Sarah says, he was the first person I met with CRPS. Haha. Don't actually know anyone else with it. Yeah, like it's really rare. So there you go. Oh, that is so cool that that we both know someone that has it. Like, not that it's not cool that they have it, but it's cool that we both know someone who has it, because I didn't know of anyone else who either had it or knew someone who had it. So there you go. That's really awesome. Angels says, yes, Sarah, it's infuriating when people put on a sweet and normal act when other people are around. So conniving. Conniving, that's a much better word. Yes, completely agree. Sarah says, I will definitely tell him you support him. Thank you. No, absolutely. You're very welcome. Absolutely. Chase says, two-faced people make me sick. Yeah, me too. Me too, Chase. Couldn't agree with you anymore. It's disgusting. It really is. Angel says, President, I really don't know her, to be honest, but ended up smoking and drinking with her. I didn't even recognize her at the time. I like that. I like that a lot. So there you go. It's all very interesting moments of bullying and arch enemies. So let's turn over now to what we'll call Act 2. How did we cope and deal with these situations? For some of us, it happened at work. For some of us, it happened at school. With some of us, it happened with friends. But it's never easy when it happens. If there's one thing that all types of bullying have in common, it's that they have a lasting effect on us. So how did we cope with them? How did we deal with them? And how do we live with that? I mean, do we box it? Does it still affect us? Have we found a way to move past it? Let's start talking about how we moved on from it. And it says, she complimented me on my hair and thought I had extensions. Lol. That's funny. I love that. I used to watch Paris back in the day. What was that show she did? I can hear the theme song, Simple Life. I used to watch Simple Life back in the day. But I got to be honest, I preferred Nicole over Paris. Yeah, but that was because my housemates loved and worshipped Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton. And they're like, oh my God, have you not seen this show? You got to watch it. And so I think we basically, what's the word? Binge watched quite a few series. Yeah, Simple Life, yeah. My word. And the best season of Simple Life was the season when Paris and Nicole weren't talking. I loved it. Anyway, Sarah says, cope and deal. I actually handled it all in quite an intense way. Not sure if it's too deep to talk about. Are you asking me or are you asking yourself? As far as I'm concerned, if you want to talk about it, you certainly can, but you don't have to, of course. I'm just wandering on the surface, but you can go as deep as you'd like to go. Chase says, bullies only bully because they want to bring people down. It's very, very true. Absolutely true, Chase. Angel says, they were quite funny at the time, actually, that such spoiled, unreal, crazy divas. So true. Sarah says, I love the simple life, haha, agree. I liked Nicole better as well. Right? And it says, I think often moving on from bullying can happen by default as people grow up and leave school. I would agree, but I think that anyone who's gone through severe bullying can suffer from PTSD with any sort of a trigger that may happen. So I certainly, for a couple of years after I left school, anytime a certain thing might happen, it may be a sound, it may be someone making a certain movement, you know, I would suffer some minor PTSD. And of course, it would make me relive it all over again. But yeah, you definitely, the best way is to try and move on from it for sure. Angel says, plus as we grow up and mature, we are much better at critical thinking and getting things in perspective. That is a good point as well. Jay says, bullies need to be prayed for. Yes, to start with, I completely agree. President A says, all good angels. I dealt with bullies, especially the ones who mistreated women by intimidation. Yeah, so you were saying that earlier, President A, and I'm so glad that you did. Yeah, I think it really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're being bullied, it can still get to you. Like, I mean, you know, I find that, I mean, I haven't been physically bullied or physically harassed or whatever for a while now, but I have gone through some verbal bullying. I wouldn't go so to say call it harassment, but I've been through some verbal bullying, and it still does get to me. Especially when you're in an emotionally heightened state and you can't necessarily shift the emotion and think about it logically in that moment. You may be able to walk away and hours later put things into perspective, but I think in that moment it's still tough to deal with. But you know, that could also just still be my opinion. Sarah says, well, asking both you and myself really hard. No, I'm absolutely fine with it, but it's, yeah, up to you. Sarah says, I turned to drug use, alcoholism problems, and the likes in my teenage years, self-harm, developed PTSD, and also developed borderline personality disorder. There you go. I can relate by turning to alcohol and drug use. I can relate. So I too, especially as I said, when I went through all that stuff with my ex to zone out, I smoked a lot of marijuana back then. So I can definitely understand from that side of things. I've never taken any other drug, like illegal drug outside of marijuana. But I can understand that. And drinking as well, absolutely. I can understand that. I have not self-harmed before. I'm sorry you went through that. And PTSD, yes, absolutely, I can relate to that. And borderline personality disorder, there you go. I mean, it goes to show the effect that bullying has on people. I wish that there could be someone out there relatable enough to bullies that could sit them down and get it through their heads. Listen, what you're doing, it actually torments these people. You might think it's fun and funny, but the reality is, whether you mean to or not, you are doing something so terrible that is going to have a grave impact on this person's life. Not only now, but as they grow up. Like, it's, I almost wonder if bullies even know that the full effect that bullying has on their victims. But it's just so horrible, and Sarah brings up some great examples of what it actually does. I'm so sorry that you had to go through all of that. As I say, some of the things I can relate to, some of them I hadn't gone through myself, but it just goes to show what it can do. It's just absolutely terrible. So I'm so sorry, Sarah. Angel says, Bullies are basically the biggest cowards. It's overcompensating for the insecurities they feel. Yeah. So I've heard that. Coming from the victim side, I find it hard to look upon that as an excuse. Like, I get that it's a reason, but I don't find that it's a feasible excuse at all. But I do understand that that is one of the reasons. Chase says, Chase, you've flown away. I cost a teacher their job when they hit a student. Well done. That's good. Because that should never have happened. Angel says, yes, President A, high five. Sarah says, no longer self-harming drugs or alcohol, though, became quite spiritual to help myself through things. And I think spirituality can help. I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying everyone, become religious or everyone becomes spiritual. But I can say from personal experience that spirituality has certainly helped myself as well. So I can understand that for sure. And I'm glad that you're no longer self-harming or doing drugs or alcohol. It's a very slippery slope, drugs and alcohol, two things that I can talk about. As you guys know, I very rarely, if not, don't drink. And I have not had marijuana for a very long time. So there you go. Angel says, I think that there are times where we feel low or extra sensitive, then comments can get to us much more. We are only human after all. Yeah, yeah, I would agree with that for sure. I think for me, it comes down to the person that's actually doing it, especially if you have a great relationship with them. Like Sarah was alluding to earlier with her friend. If it comes from a friend, it's very tough to deal with because that sense of betrayal, like someone you're close to. So I think you can definitely be extra sensitive to something like that. And yeah, when you feel low, it does get too much more. I do completely agree with that, Angels. Yes, Chase, you tickle Sarah. Angel says, I smoked marijuana and booze, but more as part of a standard student behavior, as I was lucky enough to not have to put up with severe bullying. There you go. We really should have an alcohol and drugs chat. It is something that I feel is pertinent enough to have, and we can talk about our experiences and stuff like that. But yeah, again, Angels, yeah, I would agree. You were lucky that for you it was just because it was a standard thing. It wasn't because of anything that was affecting you at the time. So yeah. Prison A says, I've been a verbal bully in the past, but by accident, it just slips out or people misunderstood what I said. There are times where I misunderstand what people say, but I will be the first to ask them. I'll be the first to say, I'm sorry, what? Like, to sort of question what they're saying. And people who know me well enough will pick up if I don't pick up on sarcasm. It's like, oh, look, that was a joke. It was sarcasm or whatever. So yeah, I think that's the best way to sort of deal with that, is if someone doesn't understand it or they take it the wrong way, to point it out very quickly to them. Oh, that was sarcasm. I was just joking. I wasn't being serious. Chase says, it's called a cop. Yeah, well, yep, cops can certainly be helpful. Sarah says, oh, sorry guys, didn't mean to get all deep. Don't want sympathy. It's just the reality of it, really. I'm grateful that you shared it with us, Sarah, because I think it will help people to understand the gravity of the situation. I'm sorry if I got too deep responding to your comment, but I think it would help people understand the gravity of the situation. Sarah's asking, why is she being tickled? Because Chase is going to tickle anyone that's sad to make them happy, which I think is really adorable. Angel says, it's a reason, not an excuse, in my opinion. Yes, Angels, thank you. I completely agree. Oh, are you commenting on what I said? So you said lol under that. Are you quoting me? Maybe you should use air quotation marks there. Yes, it is. It's a reason. Like, like you can say bullies do X because of X. But in the same breath, you can say, despite the fact that bullies do X because of X, X doesn't justify bullies doing X. And so that's why I'm trying to make the differentiation. It's a reason, but it's not an excuse. President, whoa. Where are we? President A says, but unlike bullies, I felt bad for what I said and apologized for it. I'm so glad to hear that, President A. Good on you. Because, you know, sometimes people need that clarification. Angel says, yes, President A, we are all capable of saying things we don't mean. Very true. It's very true. As long as we, if we are aware enough to realize that what we have said has affected the other person in a way that we didn't intend, that we just take a moment to step back and sort of explain where we're coming from. Like, you guys know my friend Sonia, she's very sarcastic a lot of the time. So sometimes she may say things to me that I think she's being really rude or mean to me, but she will stop the conversation and become rather serious and say, oh, sorry, no, I was being sarcastic, I'm just letting you know. And sometimes that clarification, even though you know, you need to take a second to explain it, sometimes that clarification can be very beneficial. So I appreciate that she does that. Chase says, no drugs or booze or self-harm, Missy, or our tickle all. Angel says, as long as we try not to and apologize if and when we do, it's all good, we're only human. Completely agree, Angels, well done. Sarah says, haha, silly Chase. We have Salami Boy here saying that he is a junkie. Oh, okay, there you go. Did that happen owing to something that you've gone through, Salami Boy, or is that something that you took up because it was a cultural thing? Sarah says, yes, we should definitely do a drugs and alcohol chat. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitely pertinent and something that we need. And Chase is saying maybe. Sarah says, I've been a verbal bully where I liked the attention not being on me, so I joined others in teasing another. However, I did some soul searching and realized I wasn't happy with being that person. I think victims of bullying go through that. I did myself, I must say, but like yourself, when I took a step back and realized what I was doing, I changed things right away. And I actually ended up becoming friends with the person that I was joining in with the crowd with. I'll never forget that. I ended up apologizing to them and actually becoming friends with them. We hung out after school, which was nice. Sarah says, haha, the best tickles are happy tickles. Oh, that's so cute. Angel says, speaking of alcohol, I'm enjoying a nice chilled glass of wine in the pub whilst in our chat, plus some crisps too. Yum, yay, that's so cool, Angel, it's good on you. But that's okay, as it's not drinking excessively or for the wrong reasons. That's it. Like, honestly, I don't mind if someone drinks, provided they're doing it for a celebratory reason, and they're happy during the entire process. Yeah, my issue is when obviously if someone is driven to drink because of something that's happened to them, or if because of their drinking they become violent and do something to someone else. But Angels, I can tell from what I've got to know about you that you're not that sort of person. You have a drink for a celebratory reason or just to wind down, and there's nothing wrong with that. Sarah says, totally agree with Angels, and Angels is giving the thumbs up. Yay, that is so cool. Chase says, if I drink, I get silly. See, that's funny. Like, I know someone in my life who, when they drink, they get really, really silly. And I think that's funny. Like, obviously, if they were violent, I would never hang around with them again, but they get really, really silly. And I think that's great. They're enjoying themselves. Sarah says, I have shit of an addictive personality which doesn't mix well with alcohol. Yeah. So obviously, you know, some people need to stay away from it. Yeah, so I can understand that as well. For me, I don't have to stay away from alcohol. I choose to do so. But yeah, I can understand why you would need to stay away, Sarah. I have wondered though if it's hard for you to do that. You don't have to answer it. It's just something that I've wondered if it's hard for you, because unlike with me making the choice, you're not actually able to, if that's hard for you. President A says, off topic, I took that Descendants. Which villain are you? I kept getting Mel or Evie somehow. President A, I got Carlos, and I'm so proud. I shared it right away on Facebook. I'm like, oh my God, I'm Carlos. So, because I definitely feel like I would be like Carlos. So, yeah, I was very happy with that. Sarah says, a bit. Oh, a bit of an addictive personality. Yeah, no problems. Thanks for the clarification, Sarah. Angel says, alcohol can sometimes really disagree with some people and make them aggressive and violent, which is awful. Yeah, and that's the distinction I'm trying to make, Angels. Absolutely. President A says, when I drink, I'm too honest. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's not. Like with my friend who gets silly, he can become quite honest as well, but in a really silly way, which is kind of funny. But yeah, it depends. Like some people hold their liquor really well. Some people really don't. It's not everyone reacts the same to certain things. Sarah says, ignore the autocorrect constantly turning in a bit into shit. I will. I'll ignore the autocorrect, Sarah. Angel says, in my existence, marijuana does not tend to make people aggressive. Thank you. That is, I'm so happy you wrote that, because I've actually spoken to people about that who have never had marijuana and who have listened to what other people say who have never tried it, that it's so bad and it makes people aggressive. And in my experience, it doesn't lead to aggressiveness either. So yeah, I'm glad to say I'm not alone in thinking that. Like, I can understand what people say, that it's bad because it does certain things that aren't necessarily a good thing. But to say that it makes you aggressive, where when it comes to drugs, I sort of look at it the way that Karen Walker would say it. There are uppers and there are downers. And when you look at it that way, marijuana is a downer. So if anything, it's more like a really strong relaxant. So yeah, it would sort of go against smoking marijuana for someone to become aggressive. But anyway, Chase says, eat monkey. I got Harry. There you go. That's cool. Sarah says, I can have a drink and be okay, but if I'm dealing with stress or emotions, I could potentially find it hard to get off the drink wagon. Same with food as well. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So it's, I guess, then a risk for you. You'd have to sort of do like a bit of risk management and say, look, is this really the right time to do it? Should I really do this or not? Chase says, I'm calling President A President now leave A. It's funny. Sarah says, I think people that get aggressive on marijuana tend to already have aggressive personalities and it may just be exacerbating it. It's possible. It is possible. I know someone once who smoked marijuana and became very philosophical, and that person then did some research while they were high, and found all these different types of reactions you can have to marijuana, and one of them is to be a philosophical stoner, and it was really interesting. They spent half the night coming up with all these plans of how they were going to go on Shark Tank and say all these inventions they'd come up with. But yeah, it affects people differently, and so if there are people who are naturally aggressive, it could be that smoking exacerbates it. A lot of it does come down to what's it called, like the atmosphere and like the situation you're in at the time. But anyway, we can get into all of that when we do our drinking and alcohol chat. I'm more than happy to be completely honest and open in that one and discuss what I know, and if you guys can as well, it'll be really beneficial. Yes, President Malive. Chase, I love that. EVA. Malive, I like that. President A finds that funny. Sarah says, marijuana did some weird things to my head, but we shall save all of that for proper drugs on a core chat. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. I'm sure we have a lot to say on that, which will be really, really good. Angel says, can also cause mild anxiety or paranoia, however. That's true. That's true, it can. I once smoked laced marijuana and felt a bit anxious. Was horrible. Oh, yeah, definitely. So feel free to bring that up in our drugs and alcohol chat, and we can definitely talk about that. That would be very interesting to share experiences and things that we know or we've seen others go through or whatever. I think that would be really interesting to discuss. All right, guys, so we've been here for over an hour. If there's anything else that you would like to discuss about arch enemies or bullies, please tell me now. Otherwise, we will move on to Act 3 of this chat, which is our general chat where we throw it over to you guys and say, let's talk about whatever. So I'll give you a few more moments to discuss anything to do with arch enemies or bullies, and then we'll throw the chat open to general discussion while I have a very quick drink over here. Where's MC? I know that MC watches the videos back and comments all the time. So MC, if you're watching the videos back, hi. But yeah, I wish you could make it to the chats. I miss having her here. I love that, Angels. I'll get to in a minute. President A says, probably what Marlene King was on when she wrote the finale of the show we don't speak about. Yeah, probably. I did wonder, believe me. Chase says, popcorn. You want to talk about popcorn? We can have a talk about popcorn. That's totally fine. Angel says, I love this. Act 3, hydrate. I love it. One word and it says enough. Yeah, where's your partner in crime, Angels? Where's MC? I don't know where she is. President A says, le drugs. Yes, what about le drugs, President A? And Chase is saying, drink, mister. Yes, I just had one. Thank you. It's very nice of you. So yeah, I have 2 more American food videos that I'm hoping to bring out tomorrow and Sunday, and then I think I'll be done with my American food videos. So that's going to be really cool. And don't, of course, forget, if you're watching this video live or delayed, that we have a chat coming up 11 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on Sunday night for our show chat. And I'm very excited to be doing that because we are going to be reviewing 3 episodes this week, which is going to be really awesome. All right. Angel says, yes, President A, indeed, total and utter crap. Oh, I love it. Has anyone here seen The Nanny? And every time that The Nanny brought up cats, and Mr. Sheffield would say to Fran, exactly what is the statute of limitations on that, Miss Fine? But I love it. I love when people bring up that quote, like, seriously. I was so angry when I saw the finale. I'm like, this was totally utter crap. It's good. I can look back now and laugh. And Sarah says, I feel like I have a lot of wisdom when it comes to things like abuse, mental health issues, and drugs, but I don't want to come across weird. I do have a natural understanding for it all, but I don't think that's weird at all. I think it's good that you do. And it's definitely something that can be put to good use. Like if you know of other people who are going through it, you can not empathize, but you can maybe help them through it or things like that. So I don't think it's good at all. I think it's a really good thing. Chase says, I think Marlene was high the whole time the show was on air. She probably was. And she what was it someone else said before? It was probably laced. So she got all paranoid, and that's how they came up with A. It's just like, oh, someone's stalking me. We'll do that for the show. Anyway, Sarah says, speaking of popcorn, I'm starving. Need to make food. Oh, go ahead. Where did you get all your American food from, Francie? I got it from usafoods.com, or is it .com.au? Anyway, they're a place in Melbourne. They're from Moorabbin in Melbourne. Really, really awesome. They have a lot of things there, and I'm going to do another order hopefully next week, and so I might have some more foods that I'll be trying out for you, but we'll see what happens. Skylar's here. Hey, Skylar, thank you for being here. She says hi, and Sarah says, hi, Skylar. We love Skylar. So great that you're here, Skylar. Thank you. Good morning, New York. Angels, where are we, Angels? Angels says to Chase, Yes, her brain was probably fried. She could not even remember major plot lines in the interview and after show. So true. Marlene, if you'd like to come in for an interview with me, please feel free to come to comment below and let me know. We'll have some Q&A time. It'd be quite interesting. President A says, I think Marlene was on drugs when writing the finale. I think it's quite possible. Angel says, I cried during the finale. It was so disappointing. Good that I can laugh about it now, though, but honestly was so upset at the time. Yeah, exactly, Angels. Like, that's the thing. Like, now I can laugh about it, but at the time I was pissed off. Because this show was it for me. Like, I had other shows that I watched, but it was my favorite show ever, and they just ruined the finale. Gosh, we should have like a 3 to 4 month reunion for all the PLLs people, and we can like just vent once again. We'll do a venting chat. Be like, oh, it's been about 4 months. Let's talk about this again. Chase says she can make a show too many AS. Oh, too many A's. She can make a show too many A's. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're saying, still saying hi to Skylar. Hi, Skylar. Oh, joining. Hi, Skylar. Chase says can't. Oh, she can't make show too many A's. Sarah says, my stepmother is American and living here. I got her some American candy and soda for Christmas, but want to get her more stuff. She misses it all. How did you acquire the stuff you got for her? So for me, I definitely got it on that website, and I would recommend it. They have quite a few things on there, in all different categories, like candy, crisps, drinks, like you name it, it's on there. Well, not everything that America has, but it has all different categories and stuff. Skylar says, hi. So this is my new stepmother, not the mean one. Oh, very good. Good to know. And now Chase is tickling Skylar. So Skylar, Chase is tickling everyone to make them happy today, just letting you know. Oh, it's good that you're on all the PLL now, Chase. That's awesome. Skylar says, a bit sleepy at work, but I think it's because I'm coming down with a cold. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. Laughs at the tickling from Chase. Very nice. Angel says, oh, I hope you feel better, Skylar. Yeah. So Skylar, I'm sorry to hear that. Go you for being at work. Because I tell you what, if I was sick, I will probably take a sick day. But go you for actually being at work. Angel says, currently watching Orphan Black and well into the first season. I'm really enjoying it so far. Awesome. Sarah says, I found a random website, but I can't remember what it was, lol. It wasn't the one you mentioned, but the one I found didn't have much of a selection. Let me see if I can get the exact one and put it there. No. I'll get you the link. There's the link, Sarah. And Sarah loves Orphan Black as well. Yay. And Alias has made it. We were wondering where you were, Alias. It's so good to have you here. Alias, I have to tell you something. I could be wrong, but I think we may have had a troll earlier in the chat. And if it was a troll, it was because you weren't here. So I think they might know your schedule and have gone, ooh, Alias is not here. Let's go in and write something. I think we did. I could be wrong, but I think we did. It's good to have you here, A-List. Chase says the A-List rap party is on the DVD. There you go. I think that's good that they put it on there. Angels is saying, yay, it's Alias, woo! Skylar says, I can deal with a running nose, but my sore throat needs to go away. And thanks, Angels. Oh my God, aren't they the worst? Like, seriously. Skylar says, Francois, you need a pro box so I can send a PO box so I can, sorry, not a pro box, a pro box indeed. You know, it sounds like a workout. Today, just for one day only, we're selling the Pro Box. All your workouts in one box. Don't mind me. It's after midnight. A PO box so you can send us me your goodies. Yeah, totally. I definitely think I should be getting mine. I should do some research into it. And then yeah, I'll let you guys know what my PO box is, because a few of you guys have said now that you want to send me some stuff. So I'll do some research and see if I can get one, and if I can, yay, yeah, I'll get it out to you guys. Angel says, yeah, to Sarah, it's great so far. I love. I'm going to let you guys talk about that because I don't watch it. But definitely a step up from AD. There you go. Skylar's saying, Orphan Black is great. Need to start season 5. Elias says, oh crap, sorry guys. I had football practice yesterday and I kind of wanted to sleep in. Oh, that's no problem at all, Elias. We totally forgive you. You're here for like every chat, so we totally forgive you. You needed the sleep in as much as I needed to hydrate, so we get it. Sarah says, Angels, it actually blew my mind, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to read that. It's a spoiler. Prisoner says, all good, Alias. How did it go? It's a good question. Angel says, to Chase, the A-list rap party sucked. Oh my God, so true. I thought it was going to be so much better. Do you guys remember me doing that original review on the finale? And I got towards the end and I'm saying, but it's okay, because they're going to answer all the questions at the A-list rap party. So I'm going to go watch that now. And yeah, then I came back and I'm like, do not waste your time watching this rap party. Sarah says, yes, I was going to mention a PO box. We'll send you cute things. Aww. Aww, I don't have to look into it. Like, do you pay a lot of money for a PO box? How do you get one? Like, I guess you sign up at the post office or something. Anyway, Alias says, I did good, better than my last time. Yay! Well done, Alias. Angel says to Sarah, yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm going to leave that. So it says, sorry about the spoiler, didn't think about it, my bad. No, it's totally fine that you guys are talking about it. I'm just not going to read it out in case I decide to watch the show. But you guys can keep talking about it. That's totally fine. Chase says, tickles for Alias. Aww. Angel says, the rap party was totally pointless. Oh my God, wasn't it? It was like really terrible. The only good part about the rap party was when they all showed where their phones were. When the interviewer's like, oh, we always have our phones, and the girls like reaching out to questions going, see, I've got my phone. That was the one thing I liked. I was like, yay, they're showing us their phones. But that shows how terrible it was. Yeah, it is great. President A is saying, that's great, Alias, keep it up. Yeah, isn't it awesome? Well done, Alias. Chase says, jumps on Alias, mine. Someone's territorial. Skylar says, on season 5 of Charmed Francois, lol. Wow, that was quick. And I noticed the countdown, the theme song, Do You Know How Happy I Am to Not... Sorry? And I noticed they cut down the theme song. Did they? I didn't even realize that they did. There you go. I must say, I'm getting a little bit ahead of where we're at the chat, and I'm now skipping the theme song myself. So I'm getting what you're saying. But no, I didn't know they cut it down. Do you know how happy I am to not have to fast forward? I can guess. I really can, Skylar. Alice said, Chase, you make me laugh. Oh, I love it. Sarah says, it's a fee monthly, I think. Ask Australia Post. Yeah, I'll have to. I hope it's not too expensive. But if it's not, like, I'll definitely get one. Then I'll be letting you guys know what it is. President A says, the A-list rap party put me to sleep. Yeah, me too. And Angel says, Chase and Alias. That's so cute. Yeah, I completely agree, Angels. They got their little bromance going on. Yeah, it's a nice depiction of Chase and Alias, Angels, for them. Yeah, so I definitely have to check out this, how to get a PO box. While you guys are writing something else, I'm going to quickly check if there is something I can do. boxes unbagged. Oh, here we go. Pricing. With that street name. If you have a small PO box, it costs $129 a month. That's not cheap. That's not cheap at all. I'd rather give you guys my home address than pay $129 a month. I'd much rather send you guys an email and say, here's my home address to send it to my house. Chase is giving Alias cookies. Aww, so sweet. Did you make them yourself, Chase? Alias says, school starts soon, so I probably won't be able to make every chat. That's totally fine, Alias, but thank you for being here anyway. But I totally understand that. Angel says, isn't Stranger Things meant to be very good? I've heard great things about Stranger Things. Still haven't seen it. I'm so sorry. I continued to watch Charmed last night. Is that all I watched? I think so. Oh, and Escape the Night, because I have to stay up to date with my Joey Graceffa. But yeah. Does anyone else here follow Joey? Or am I the only one? Like, I know there are a lot of people here that follow Kelly Wilson. Does anyone else follow Joey Graceffa on YouTube? Skylar says, Alias, what school year are you in? That's a good question. President A says, all good, Alias, make it when you can. Yes, completely agree. Alias would rather not say. Fair enough. Sarah says, much more expensive than I expected. Just be careful giving out your home address. I mean, I hope you'll be able to trust most of us, but still. Yeah, look, if I decide to give you guys my home address, I would only do it for, you know, for people that I would trust. But there are people on here that I know I can trust. So, yeah. But $129 a month is a little bit more expensive than I was hoping to spend. But I know that you guys wanted to send me some stuff, and like I'm so appreciative of that. Like, that's so nice. I've never had anyone want to send me something. So if you guys want to send me stuff, that's totally fine. Just let me know, and we can get in contact and stuff, and I'll try and find a way to get an address to you guys that you can send it to me. Because yeah, that would be really, really cool. And it says, yes, Angel, Stranger Things is good. Awesome. Chase says, I miss school. Oh, do you? Chase follows Joey. There you go. Angel says, not sure I follow Joey, maybe as I tend to follow all channels along those lines. Yeah. Chase says, can Daniel and Joey get married already? I totally agree, Chase. They're so cute together. I only recently started following Joey Graceffa, by the way, anyway. I came across, in YouTube Originals, a show called Escape the Night, and watched season 1. They're now on season 2. And Joey Graceffa is the main character. So I went to his webpage, and he does all these different things, and they're all pretty, pretty cool. But yeah, yay, I'm glad. See, there you go, Chase, you follow Kelly and Joey as well. So there you go. Skylar says, oh, all right, Alias. Yeah, that is kind of expensive. Yeah, I know, right? So we'll have to see. Yeah, I'll see if I can get a way to either give you a home address or somewhere where you guys can send it to me. And it says that PO box cost is excessive. My God, yeah, I thought it would be much cheaper than that. Like, I am so totally shocked by this. And that's a small PO box is $129 a month. A large PO box is $304 a month, and a jumbo is $589 a month. I mean, that is just ludicrous. Sarah says, I'll send you stuff. It's fun giving people the gifts and things you know they like. Have a think about it and see what you feel. I will, Sarah. Thank you very much. I will. Alias says, I follow Shane Dawson, and Joey is in some of his videos. Oh, I don't follow Shane. Maybe I should try and follow Shane as well. But yeah, I watch all of Joey's stuff, and I think right now he's actually somewhere. He's on a road trip or somewhere, but he's actually doing videos while he's there, which is pretty cool. Yeah. What else is going on? I think I've caught up with all the comments, which is pretty cool. Yay! We're getting close to 1 a.m. guys, so we'll probably finish up soon, and which is good because Alias will have made it for the moment of Alias silence, or the moment of silence brought to you by Alias. So that'll be good. Angel says, I like Kelly's videos, but can't watch her Orphan Black ones. I'm only on season 1. Yeah, so I'm exactly the same, Angels. If Kelly covers a show that I don't watch, I feel like I can't watch those ones. But I'll watch the standard videos she does. I know she's done some reviews of trailers of films recently, so I'll watch those. And I know she'll come back with stuff like Riverdale and all that, so I'll definitely watch that as well. Maybe we will all see each other in Kelly's Riverdale chat. Who knows? It's a tough time zone for me to get to, but you guys are doing so well getting to mine if you're in America, because I know how early it is at the moment. It said Shane Dawson does creepy and funny videos. There you go. The majority of Joey's ones are really funny. I don't know if he does creepy ones, but he does funny ones. Is Shane in Escape the Night? I don't really remember all the people's real names. They have character names in the show, so yeah. Sarah says, didn't even realize it's almost 1 a.m. I know, right, Sarah? It's been such a fun chat. We didn't even realize. Like, I just had to actually look at the time. Angel says, I can't wait for Riverdale. Oh, neither can I. So I found out something. One of you was telling me recently that there was a guy that was recast in Riverdale. And that's really cool. And the person who was telling me was saying that the guy the guy that they're using now is really hot and all that, and that's really wonderful. I found out something today. The reason that this character in Riverdale is being recast is because the original actor was on 13 Reasons Why. And he had to choose between Riverdale and 13 Reasons, and he chose 13 Reasons over Riverdale, which I think is a huge decision. But that's why. So he chose to side with Riverdale and therefore leave. He chose to side with 13 Reasons and therefore leave Riverdale. President A says, moment of silence for people who have been bullied. I think that's a really good idea, President A. Thank you. We'll definitely do that. Angel says, or how to get away with murder, especially as I can perv on Frank again. I love it. And I can perv on the guy I like, who I keep forgetting his name. But the one that's gay, but that's on Annalisa's team, and I forgot his name, and I'm going to keep forgetting his name, because I watch so many shows. Alias says, I've never watched Escape the Night, but I could show you Shane on Facebook. That would be great. That would be really, really good. I love Escape the Night. It's a different format to anything I've seen before, but it's really good. No problems, Chase. We'll see you in a bit. Angel says, yeah, Reggie recast. Yeah, exactly. So because of what he was doing on 13 Reasons, he had to give up his spot. Yeah. Skylar says, here in New York, P.O. box price is based off the popularity of that post office and the size and amount of months of usage. There you go. That actually sounds much better than what we do. Sarah says, haha, I suck at keeping up with current shows. I'm watching Switched at Birth at the moment, which is not current. I'm so happy you're watching Switched at Birth. Oh, Sarah, anytime you want to talk Switched at Birth, we will talk about it. It was one of my favorite shows when it was on. I loved it so much. So that makes me very happy. Skylar says, so for a small PO box by my area for 3 months of usage is $39 for a year. $39 for a month. For a year, it's $134. See? $134 for a year. And for me, for a small one, it's $129 per month. Right? Yeah, per month. Yeah. So, big difference. Yes, Angels, his name was Connor. That's right. Yeah. So you can perv on Frank and I'll perv on Connor when it comes back. And it says, is it on YouTube Red? Escape the Night? Yes, it is. Escape the Night is on YouTube. It's a YouTube Red original. You might be able to find it outside of YouTube Red. I don't know. But I know that I originally found it on YouTube read, but I think it's also on Joey's page. So if you look up Joey Graceffa, you should be able to find it on his page. Angel says, Connor is quite hot, but he looks a little young. Aww. How old do you think he is? I always thought he was similar to my age, but he's probably not. Sarah says, haha, I watched the first, maybe second season of Switched at Birth years ago, but never continued with it. I got into it again recently because I think you mentioned it in a previous chat. That sounds like me, yeah. Because I love the show so much, and I was so into learning ASL when I was watching it. Yeah, it's a great show, and the finale is phenomenal. The finale is so good, you won't be disappointed. Angel says, but then again, I'm old, so you're as old as you feel, Angels. Sarah says, would totally chat about it with you. Yay, that sounds fun. I'm looking forward to it. President A says, I was waiting for the brother in Switched at Birth to break into song since he's Ryan from High School Musical. Exactly. Yeah, I didn't even realize until we got to the last season. I'm like, oh my god, it is Ryan, because someone pointed it out to me. So yeah, it is. Angel says he's probably like mid-20s. Oh, well, there you go. That might be a bit young for me. Alias says, I can't wait for American Horror Story. I can't either. I'm really looking forward to watching that along with you guys. Yeah. Angel says, Frank is just, yeah, I'm so sorry. Just, oh, sorry guys. I just had Marissa message me on Facebook. I'm telling her to come over to the chat. Hopefully she makes it. Okay, let's get back to this. Frank is just yummy. Hope he and Laurel get back together. I love Connor with Oliver. Yeah, me too. And yeah, I love Connor with Oliver as well. I agree. Sarah's asking how old Angels is, but you don't have to answer that. Angel says, I'm 34, but I still get ID for wine, so it's all good. Yeah, hey, I'm 31. I keep thinking, you know, you guys, this is really weird. I keep thinking I'm 32, but I'm actually 31. I was talking to my mum today, and she said that. I'm like, oh, you know, so being 32, and she's like, wait, I gave birth to you. You're 31. I'm like, oh, right. But yeah, I still get asked for ID as well. Skylar says, I wonder who is the youngest in here. That's a very good question. I wonder. We should do the whole, check a box. Are you like, I don't know, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 25 to 30, 30 to 35, 35 to 40, 40 to 45, 45 to 50, 50 to 55, 55 to 60, 60 to 65. President A says, I'm not alone. I think it's saying you're not alone. I'm 34 and I still get asked for ID. There you go. Give me one sec. She just responded. Okay, Marissa's going to make her way over to the chat really soon. She just woke up. It's been a while since we've seen Marissa, so that's pretty cool. Sarah says, haha, that's so funny, Angels. I'm almost 28 and I still get mistaken for 16 and will probably be experiencing that when I get into my 30s as well. Yeah, trust me, Sarah, it does not go away. Alias says, probably Skylar. Angel says, how old are you? Alias, and Alias says he'd rather not say, but he's pretty young. That's cool. Yay, Marissa! I was just talking about you. Here you are. You made it. That's so cool. Welcome back, honey. We've missed you. Everyone's saying hi to Marissa, which is so cool. Angel says, that's good. Flattering to be asked for ID. Yeah, totally. I would agree. Like for me, especially when women at the local grocery store or whatever say, oh, do you have ID? It's like, oh, you. Yeah. So yeah, I love it. But hey, Marissa, so good to have you here. So basically, we're just having a general chat right now, talking about whatever. Thank you so much for coming along to the chat. It's been a while. Skylar says, haha, I think I'm in the middle. I'm 21. Hi, Marissa. There you go. Sarah says, it's pretty flattering being mistaken as younger. Doesn't bother me at all. Yeah, like it doesn't bother me. I always smile when I'm asked. It's like, oh, yeah, I can show you. I mean, I'm 31, but you know. Yeah. Marissa says, the dog woke me up. He had to pee. Oh, thank you, Marissa's dog. See, everything happens for a reason, Marissa. The dog had to wake you up so you could come to our chat before it finishes. Oh, my gosh. President A says, the funniest thing is when you get asked for ID by someone you went to school with. Oh, that would be funny. Like, you knew me. I went to school with you. So good. All right, people. Marissa says, I was buying sparklers, fire things. Yep. And got asked for ID. I looked at the guy and handed him my ID and said, we'll just wait for what the next part is. I'm so sorry that you're restricted with the word count on here. As I say, this is why I do not post on Twitter, because this would annoy the heck out of me. And said, I'm 32, but I don't act it. It's probably a good idea to not sell me these things. He said, bad ideas aren't legally a reason. I like that. Angel said, I get asked for ID in the local supermarket, which I have been going to since college when I was like 17. No brainer. I'm well over drinking age. I like that. Alias says, well, at least your dog warned you someone took a crap again. Sarah says, haha, I like how you clarified sparklers as fire things. Yeah, me too. I like that as well, because we used to use sparklers. Gosh, for New Year's, we would use it in my family. It was pretty fun. Chase is back, yay! Angel says, I have a toy boy too, so it keeps me young. Nice, Angels. And it's just ironic that underneath that you say, welcome back, Chase. Anyway. That is so cool. You guys are awesome. It's getting later and later, so I probably should be ending this soon. But yeah. Okay, so Sarah, I'm going to talk to you momentarily after this chat on Facebook. Skylar, I think I have you on Facebook. If I don't, can you please add me, because I want to talk to you as well about this PO box situation. Otherwise, I want a toy boy, lol, or girl. We can have a toy boy chat some other time. Otherwise, to everyone else, we're just going to have a very quick moment of silence. Because today's chat is about arch enemies and bullies, we're going to have a moment of silence to think about all of those who have been bullied. It is a terrible thing. And I think despite the fact that they're trying to create more awareness about bullying, there needs to be much more awareness than there is. So we're going to have a moment of silence now to pay tribute to all of those who have been bullied, to all bully victims around the world. Moment of silence starts now. That was wonderful. Thank you very, very much. Just quick comments. Angel says, yeah, toy boys are the way forward. Chase says, I'm watching Suicide Squad. Very good, Chase. Amy says, that's cool. Sarah says, oh, yes, let's chatty chat. Yes, we will. We'll chatty chat very quickly. Alias says, yay, I rolled over my bully's finger at the skating rink. Yay, considering it's a bully. Yay. Skylar says, yes, I'll add you for sure. Thank you, Skylar. I appreciate it. I just want to quickly talk to you guys about the PO Box situation. Otherwise, thank you all to the rest of you for being here today for our first social issues chat in over a fortnight, Archenemies and Bullies. If you are watching this delayed, or if there are any other comments you would like to add, please, once this video is uploaded, add some comments below, or thumbs up this video if you really enjoyed it. And if you have not subscribed, do comment below and let me know. Please do, because we're going to be having more chats like this, as well as doing reviews for shows and some other fun, delectable things we're going to be doing along the way. But in the meantime, as Francois T always says, give someone you love a hug. Make love, not war. I am Francois T, with lots of big hugs and kisses to all of you. XOXO. I'll see you Sunday, 11 p.m. Australian Eastern Time for our charmed show chat. But until then, much love. Bye, guys.